Hello everyone, welcome to Bargain Gaming, where we can play excellent games without busting our wallets. This is episode. Let me. No, no. This is not. In the last episode, we did episode 300, and as a result, Kasumi returned home, and we were told by the father, Mr. Nakano, to come over here. That's where they live. That's where the Nakanos live. And this is the workshop where we were supposed to dig up their grandfather's or their father's treasure. And on the map, this is where we are, right here up close to the Nakano's residence. Wait, how come? Oh, yeah. So this is the Nakano's residence. So we are actually slightly off screen of the Nakano. I think we're yeah, we're beyond the zone line, so we're not showing up, but we're somewhere here. Anyway, so we are at the Nakano's residence, and this episode, I would like to do this as a special episode for high-level loot locking location. This is another one. We have discovered 4 so far high-level loot locking location. The very first one was at the basement of Krupp Manor, where I believe, if I remember correctly, I got my 2-shot Gauss rifle. And then the number 2 would be the power plant in Nuka World, where before we go in, I think that's I can't remember the episode. Krupp Manor is a 182. Then the episode in going into the power plant to restart the generators in Nuka World. They have a main power plant out of Nuka World playgrounds. We went in there, and if the power plant has the potential to spawn 2 legendary feral ghouls, and one of the feral ghouls there is loot lockable, and I think we got what, maybe an exploding handcrafted rifle there. And then the number 3 high level loot locking location is the control room, where the nuclear sub nucleus, the nuclear port of nucleus. And we were at the nuclear command center, and when we turned on the power to power up the facility, it spawned an assaultron, and that one is a 3rd, and that is where we got our explosive minigun. And this one is the 4th spot. And I have been farming this spot, and I have seen all kinds of this spot drops only projectile and energy weapons. It does not drop melee weapons. It does not drop any armor. Just offensive projectile and defense weapons. I have seen it drop from pipe rifles, pipe pistols, all the way to Gauss rifles, miniguns, and on the energy side, lasers, all the way to plasma rifles, sniper plasma rifles. They just dropped the plain vanilla ones. I have not seen a Gatling laser drop here in over 4 to 5, maybe possibly over 5 hours of farming. And it doesn't drop the lever rifle from Far Harbor that uses 4570 armor, 4570 ammunition. It does not drop the handcrafted rifle that uses 7.62 ammunition from Nuka World. All I have seen is that it drops standard vanilla game weapons. And so, however, and then the prefix appears to be very limited. So far, I have seen are ghoul, slaying, dead eye, um, staggering, resolute, uh, very. I was shopping for a ghost rifle that is instigating. I have not seen instigating. I have not seen explosives. I have not seen uh, incendiary. I have not seen two shots. So I was hoping to farm a gauss rifle here, and I could not get one. And then so I so anyway, this is just to demonstrate this area how to loot lock this. But however, this area is loot lockable. Now the thing is, once we press X to dig up the chest, we will go into the loading screen. In the loading screen, it will give us the sound of us opening, of the chest opening, and then actually two stage sound. The first stage is the sound, three stage. The first sound is getting the chest out of the sand. The second sound is the chest opening, and then the third sound is like a groaning or a creaking sound as the lid of the chest is further lifted. The best way to do this is as soon as we press X on to dig up the supplies, we do a fast count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and press on 7 to do the quick save. If we do that, we will loot lock the item. So okay, let's do this. Okay, as soon as I press X, I will do a count of 7, and then press options button to do the quick save on number 7. Okay, press X to dig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, press the options, and then that timing, if we do it too early, around the count of 5, it will not loot lock. It will cause the what is this? What did we get? So an overcharged plasma sniper rifle. Okay, that is not too bad. And actually it drops 2 weapons. And then also a night vision calibrated powerful assault rifle. So it's not bad. So the other thing is that, okay, let me load a save game where the drop was a minigun, and then we will walk through just to show you that this actually drops a minigun as high a level as a minigun. So, but it does. I have not yet seen a Gatling laser. I've seen a Gauss rifle. Okay, so and then this means we have loot locked it correctly. If see it has now a poisoner's shredding minigun. Now I have gone on the internet to check, and there are many people, there are many claims on the internet saying that when we are loot locking these things, we have to pick it up so that it will not be repeated again when we reload the quick save. In my playthrough, that does not seem to happen. So let me reload the quick save. So, and let's see what we get next. Because because that would have worked wonderfully for me had if that was what was happening in my gameplay. In my gameplay, even when I pick up the item, I can see it drop again. So it doesn't take it out of the loot table. I wish it does, at least as far as my gameplay is concerned. So again, I'm reloading a quick save, and then it will drop another. Now this is a violent shredding minigun. So let's pick it up, and then let us load the quick save again to see. Hopefully, because like I said, I have not just seen an explosive minigun, a prefix with an explosive to it. So this would be our third load of the quick save. But this is just to prove that this spot is quick savable, or not not quick save, but loot lockable. And that's why if we do a quick save before the count of 5, then the item will not loot lock. So this now is a quick draw. So we have 3 different prefixes so far in 3 loads. So again, so this is where the Nakanos are, right? That's a Nakano residence. Just to prove that that this Nakano chest is actually loot lockable. Okay, and then let's load it a 4th time on a quick save. So I wish that if we pick it up, that prefix will be knocked out of the loot table, and it will force the other prefixes to be used. I have like a quick draw, a resilient, ghoul slaying, assassin. They keep coming back. They keep coming up. And that's just after like at least 5 hours of farming. So again, we see ghoul slaying. That was the very first one so that was the very first prefix we saw. So let's try another load on the quick save. So it does not lock the prefix out, at least in my gameplay. So that's why I wish it was in my gameplay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I hope I could repeat what those guys on the internet claims to be able to do. That by picking it up, it will knock it out of the loot table, so that the next prefix, the drop, will not be repeated, and we will go through the whole loot table. Out of now we see Junkie's shredding minigun. Okay, let's pick it up, and then let's load it again. Load the quick save. So I cannot. I have not seen. Oh, it does have a never-ending prefix though. So the minigun with the never-ending prefix is not too bad. So that's why when I was able to loot lock the Ghost rifle, I was getting never-ending, junkie, all of these, and they are totally, for me, they are not as good as the 2-shot Ghost rifle that we already have. And this one is violent shredding minigun, so it adds 25% more damage but has more recoil. So in our inventory, we already have the 2-shot Ghost rifle. So I was hoping the Ghost rifle that was dropping here with the shielded upgrade, like this one, 2-shot shielded Ghost rifle, it was doing like 465 points of damage. So that means if we had gotten, that's why I was shopping for an instigating one. If we had we gotten the instigating one, 465 would translate to 930 shot, 930 damage with the first shot, with one shot. And then since we have if we're doing a lot of our shooting from stealth, that we multiply that by 3.5 times, we're talking about almost over 3,000 points of damage. So that is why I was looking for an instigating ghost rifle. I was actually able to spawn one at the nucleus sub uh, sub port in Far Harbor. I was able to get an instigating Western revolver, which was not is not available, which I have not seen here. I was able to get an instigating ghost rifle. So again, we picked up the junkie just earlier, and it is repeating. So it is so by picking it up, at least in my gameplay, it is not being removed from the loot chart, the prefix on the loot chart. So I wish I can understand how those other guys are doing so that it will significantly shorten my farming process, because if they keep getting knocked off the loot table, right, the prefix table, then it will grind down to nothing, or it will force maybe those things that are at the lower end, or the rarer end. So this, I think, the prefix have uh, a rarity, and the poisoners, ghoul slaying, they are not as rare as maybe the instigating, and so that's why these keep popping up. So it's very possible that it is within the loot table of this box, uh, except that it is just super rare. So that even 5 hours worth of farming is not gonna produce it. So it would be based on really, it's a really random draw. It's like the Gauss rifle. I have been trying to. The very first time I spawned the Gauss rifle in this location, it took me only about 15 tries, about 15 minutes, and it spawned. And then I worked on that Gauss rifle for about 2 hours, trying to spawn the prefix of instigating, and it was about a minute a try. So we go back to goose laying again. So goose laying popped up again. So this is the third time we've seen goose laying. Load. I then load the quick save again, and I spent 2 hours. So that's about 120 tries to get to a instigating. I keep getting a lot of goose laying, a lot of dead eye, a lot of staggering. I never got any two-shot. I never got any explosives. I never got instigating. And there were, out of 38 potential prefixes. Oh, staggering. I got a lot of staggering also. So staggering is not bad on a minigun, on something that spews up a lot of bullets. So this is not too bad to have. So going back to my search for the Gauss rifle, I got a lot of staggering. It was, it's pointless to have, like, I was looking for the only thing I really needed was the instigating. Yeah, staggering, ghoul slaying, assassin, what do you call this? A violent. That 25% more damage. It's not really. Oh, I have also quick draw. Quick draw means what? Can cost less. 25% less action points. Since I am using the Gauss rifle for stealth mode. I don't use action points I don't use VATs for my Gauss rifle. It doesn't make sense, right? Or I very rarely use a VATS. And first, it's a big gun, it's heavy, and in VATS you have only 2 attempts in VATS. VATS is really ideal for small pistols like the Deliverer, and the other one that I really wanted was to get a Western revolver. So the other thing that I was looking for here was uh, a Western revolver, either an instigating one or a never-ending one. A never-ending one gives us unlimited bullets. I could not spawn a Western revolver. The best I got was a 44 revolver. So it's a 44 Magnum, obviously. So a 44 revolver, and I did get a never-ending 44 revolver. So that means we don't have to reload. The never-ending revolver came with advanced receiver, so it's doing 202 points of damage. So that is superior to the Deliverer in terms of damage potential. However, the Deliverer has the 25% points less cost in action points using VATS. That's why the Deliverer is really ideal in VATS. Now, the 44 or the Western revolver can also be extremely useful in VATS, except we don't have as many shots, but we're doing a lot more damage with it. So that was why I was thinking if we can get an instigating 44 Western revolver, can you believe that a Western revolver does, with an advanced receiver, does about 223 points of damage. So that's about 10% more than the 44. So if we have that as an instigating or as a never ending, we will be it would be a perfect item, the best weapon for run and gun, short distance fighting, and we can use VATS for that one. Using VATS, using the critical banker, and also we will have to max out our fortune or good luck. Anyway, so Junkie's shredding minigun, it came back again. So, okay, one last try, and just to prove that this is a good high level and loot lockable location. So this is it. So we have so far discovered 4 high level loot lockable locations, and this is the 4th one. Then there are 2 other loot lockable locations, but they were like lower level to medium level. That one, the one is Dunwich Borers, and the other one is in Super Duper, where there are feral ghouls. Again, we got a good ghoul slaying shredding minigun. So I guess that's the extent of it. But it took. I had almost given up that this site will not drop a minigun, but it actually does drop a minigun. So on the prefixes, I think it is just that the prefix number must be really, really low. The percentage of drop must be like not even 1%, but 0.00 of a percent or something, and that is why it is almost impossible to drop. And together with the Gauss rifle and this minigun, they're the same. They took like in another 5 hours of farming, the Gauss rifle appeared only in the first 15 minutes, and I have not seen it again. And then the minigun did not spawn until after over 5 hours of farming this spot. So those two items apparently are available in this spot. But the prefixes, I think, is another issue. Maybe it will take a lot of farming to get to another explosive minigun, or possibly instigating ghost rifle. So in that case, so I don't think too farming too long is too tiring. Anyway, so we have discovered the fourth spot. So I hope you guys were able to pick up on something on this. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you will join me in the next episode. Bye.